Hello, my name is Nick Thomas. I'm a professional juggler and slinkyer, and today I'm gonna show you how to do the escalator slinky trick. It looks something like this. So let's get started. Now, one of the great things about the escalator is that you can do it with almost any slinky. So if you have a metal slinky or a jumbo slinky, you can learn how to do this trick. However, I recommend learning this trick with a slinky that's about this size, about 3.5 inches tall. If you want to get your own, I have some links in the description down below for ones that I recommend. Now, there's a few different ways you can do the escalator. You can go to the right, to the left, forwards, or even backwards. However, in this tutorial, I'm gonna be focusing on going to the right, but the same steps apply if you wanna learn any other direction. I also recommend learning this way because I think it looks the best. So if you wanna learn this going right to left, just flip everything that I say. And while the escalator is one of the easier tricks to get started with, it's actually one of the more difficult slinky tricks to master. It may take you a few months before it looks something like this. And I tell you that just so you don't get super frustrated if it doesn't come right away. It took me quite some time before it felt super smooth. So to get started, what we want to do is place one hand out just like this, place the slinky on top. Now this hand is not going to do anything to start, it's just going to be nice and flat. You're not going to be grabbing the slinky and holding it, it's just going to be sitting on top. What we're going to do with our other hand is grab about 3 or so of the coils, and we're going to make a motion like this. It's going to be just like this and coming to a complete stop real quick. So it's not just like going like that, it's a quick motion. So let's try it. And what you'll notice is that this hand was not holding the slinky, so it flipped over to the other side. What we're gonna try to do now is after we get that motion down, is we're gonna take this hand, we're gonna put it underneath this hand and try to catch the slinky. So, just like that. Now this might be a little difficult when you first get started because you don't exactly know where the slinky is gonna end up. You don't wanna be going super wide, and you also don't wanna go super small. Just kinda like this. And catch the slinky. And then you can just restart. So now once you feel comfortable catching the slinky in the other hand, we're gonna go on to the next step. Now with our hands crossed, what we're gonna try to do is with the hand that's on top right now, we're gonna basically toss the slinky up a little bit, and what's gonna happen is it will then flip over and we're gonna try to catch it on the way down. So it looks something like this. So with our hands crossed, throw it up and then catch it. And you'll notice now our hands are back uncrossed. So let's try that again. So with the hands crossed, just like that. So now what you can do is restart, go hands crossed, toss slinky up, and then catch it over here. This is the hardest motion, so it will take a bit of practice. So catch, toss up, and catch. And so now you'll notice our hands are uncrossed, kind of like at the beginning. And what we're gonna do is with this side, it's always gonna be on this side, we're gonna lift up again and catch it underneath the other arm. And then we're back to arms crossed. Catch, 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 catch. And we're gonna keep practicing this until this motion feels really natural. We don't wanna start going full speed right at the beginning. What we wanna do is just go catch, make sure you know what you're doing, catch, 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 just like this. And nice and slowly kind of work our way to going a little bit faster. What you wanna do is basically have your hands know where to be at each step and start to go a little bit faster. We don't need to be going full speed just yet, but a little bit faster. Catch, 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 catch. So once it starts to feel comfortable doing the steps in slow motion, grabbing the slinky each step of the way, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start just like we did before, with the slinky in a hand just like this, and we're gonna make that same starting motion, that same flip, and then we're gonna try to catch it, of course, in the other hand. But once we do that, with the first hand that we did this flip with, we're gonna then start to raise it up, and then we're gonna let the slinky kind of go. So it'll look like this. And then catch it down below. So 1, 2, 3, and you can just do that to get started. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. What we want to make sure we're doing is the pull is quick enough to have enough momentum to be able to do the 3 steps. So if you just do it nice and slow, it's not going to have enough momentum. So quick, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So now once we want to start adding in more rounds of the escalator, we're going to have to change our approach a little bit. Before, when we got started, we were grabbing the slinky at each step of the way. But to get it continuously, you don't have enough time to keep gripping the slinky. So what we actually want to do is kind of have our palm flat a little bit. You can spread your fingers out a little bit to kind of maximize the area where you can catch the slinky. And we're going to try to add a couple more rounds. And so what we want to do is, again, kind of lift up on this hand and then quickly go underneath to catch it. 1, 2, 3, and then catch it down here. 1, 2, 3, catch. 1, 2, 3, catch. Now, when you first get started, you might find yourself kind of going off into the direction that the escalator is going. You might be going that way, or you might even be going down a little bit. And to prevent that, what we want to do is kind of lift up and away during each step. So you'll notice my hand is always giving it that little bit of boost this way, and then quickly coming back down to catch it. So this hand going quickly back down to catch it. When you first get started, you just want to do a few rounds in a row and then kind of come to a stop. Make sure your hands sort of know where to go and make sure it's nice and clean. You don't want it like super messy and just falling apart every time. So make sure you can kind of start with 2 rounds and then work your way up to sort of doing 3 and 4 rounds and then keep going from there. Every now and then, of course, you can try to see how long you can go. But of course, we want to make it nice and clean when we first get started so it's not really messy. Some common issues you might encounter is after a couple, it just kind of flops and doesn't keep going. And to prevent this, you want to get started with a really quick pull at the beginning. So real quick, and then start going, rather than just nice and slow and then it falling apart after that. So quick pull, then keep it going. Another problem I had when I first started was I tended to kind of rotate around with the slinky, and that's okay for when you first get started. It'll kind of just go away naturally once you kind of learn exactly where your hands need to be, and it'll start to feel a bit more natural. But if you practice just a little bit each day, it should get better and better. But if you have any problems or questions when learning this trick, you can let me know in the comments down below and I'll be able to help you out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, make sure to practice 10-15 minutes a day and then you should be able to learn it in no time. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like these in the future. If you have any ideas for future Slinky videos, let me know. I'll see you next time.